Welcome to the Branford Camera Club monthly meeting. Tonight's program is presented by Chuck Neubauer. Chuck Neubauer is a professional photographer and has been taking photos for over 75 years. Chuck tonight will critique your photos and give you suggestions on how to make your photos a professional looking presentation at a photo show or just for plain pleasures. Now here is Chuck with the program.
Grace just handed me my check, so there's no
money in there. Yeah, just right.
I'm honored to be back here and do this. This is something I love to do. Photography was my passion. Teaching was my second passion. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Let me get to my laptop and make a quick change here. And I'll do a little presentation. I got my first camera from Santa Claus.
No.
Yeah, in the first grade. And
Yeah. Good name.
here we can stop that.
Oh, yeah.
That.
Boy, Chuck, I think you have more photos than I do.
Oh, I've got tons of photos. Okay, everybody close your eyes.
Oh.
Let us know if you need the light off.
Okay. Probably not for this. Okay. So we talked about photography being a passion and teaching being a passion. I thought I would start showing you a photograph of my pride and joy.
We've done that one.
My intent was to print 10 or 12 of these, laminate them, bring them up, let Grace or Ellen sell them, because you're going to get lots of money. And lots of laughs. And Uncle Bilty came through and delayed me a lot of days. So, so much for that.
Oh.
Tonight, as we go through this presentation, I'm going to talk a little bit, not much, about 75 years of photography.
Oh, my.
But talk to me. If you have questions, speak them out. If you have thoughts, I want to hear them. We all do. This is a collective group. So talk to Chuck. How many of you brought a camera tonight? Looking good. The back of my camera case is a 5x7 card with this information on it. Every time I change cards, I photograph that 2 or 3 times. I volunteer at a thrift shop, and we get lots of digital cameras in.
Really?
2 megapixel, 4 megapixel, 20 megapixel. I have 2 very nice cameras that are my go-to cameras. I got a big Canon, I hardly ever use it. But they come in with a card, family photographs, pictures of the house, Christmas.
Oh,
No idea who these people are. So, I put that. That's the first thing. So if I drop a card
Smart idea.
or drop a camera, I used to have a wallet-sized photograph in my wallet and it went away. And I'll do that again, but always do this. This is my cell phone picture. So if I find my cell phone somewhere, you'll wind up talking to my wife. You certainly don't want to call my number. But
Then you'll be in trouble with Terry.
exactly.
Oh, my.
You talk about programs I use. I've been using Photoshop for years and years and years. Recently, several years ago, got a new laptop. It was, I think, Windows 11 or something. My old Photoshop wouldn't work. I had retired, no longer had the studio, no longer needed giant Photoshop. I bought Photoshop Elements for about $100. 4 years ago, I've been using it ever since, and it has never failed me.
Elements.
I can still do some retouching, some softening, some layering. So it's been a good program for me.
So what about Apple?
Apple, Photoshop,
Still,
absolutely for me. I don't know, I'm not an Apple.
I'm not either. I just keep hearing about that's the way.
Yeah.
If you're a photographer or an artist.
How many
people
use
talk
in
about-
Lightroom? See, a bunch of people use the Lightroom. How many use in Photoshop?
Hmm?
How many use Photoshop Elements?
Elements. Okay, bingo.
And then what you, yeah.
Basics, that's all you need.
Yeah.
Tonight you'll see me using a very powerful program called Fast Stone Image Editor.
Mhm.
It does tons and tons of stuff.
Mhm.
Now the cost is free. All you gotta do is download it. And it's a very powerful
Are you
program.
writing these?
It does not do burning and dodging, which Photoshop will do. You can't do layers, but you can do a lot of other stuff. You can also bring up all your images, we'll see a bunch of them. And you can tag images, and you can eliminate everything else, or you can eliminate tagged ones, or move any number of things. Very flexible, but very powerful program. I highly recommend Fast Stone Image Editor.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
36.
A lot of truth there.
Yeah. One picture worth 1,000.
When we were photographing weddings, if I did 200 images at a wedding, it was a big wedding. I had friends photographing 4,000 images.
Oh, save us.
Just a normal normal wedding.
Mm.
And then they spend all day Sunday editing the video.
Yeah.
And then the newer photographers, digital's changed everything. You don't have to be a photographer to take pictures.
Yeah.
So, you know, go out there, and I'm a wedding photographer, and here's your pictures. Not the way the business should work.
Well, it's not
Each
art.
shot counts.
Elect.
Basically, this means print
Missy.
those suckers out.
Who's Missy?
Hmm?
Who's Missy?
Missy Umwack, I don't remember her full name, she's a photographer,
It's okay.
but she's a great proponent of printing images.
Yeah.
Because if you're saving your images to a cloud, you're saving them to somebody else's computer. It's all your time. And you want to be able to see them.
Yeah.
Please tell me you're Charlie.
Yes.
Hey, good night, see you, bye-bye.
She's the next speaker.
Folks, I forgot to add before Chuck began, if you have cell phones, please turn the volume down or on vibrate or even off if you want.
Yeah, I did.
Do not follow my lead like last month and leave it on or have it ring during the middle of the meeting. Thank you, Chuck.
Yeah.
Hurricanes come, we got tubs, waterproof tubs. We put the family albums in the tubs, put them in the bathtub, cover them. Yes?
Or the washing machine or the dishwasher.
Yes, yes, they're all water washers. These are our family albums, they go back to, Terry and I have been married 43 years, goes back to pre-wedding.
Yeah.
Now, what's the big deal? Big deal is when I'm gone and
They
Terry's
are.
gone, the kids go through these, and they're not gonna take the Alaska pictures, except the Alaska pictures that have Terry and I in them. They'll go through the rest of the books, and they'll pull out the pictures of themselves and or their relatives. Now, fortunately, we have some very old photographs of old relatives. We know who the heck they are.
And they're labeled.
When we had the studio, we did restorations. People would bring an old photograph in and say, "This is Uncle John, this is Aunt Mary." I have no idea who these people are. So, right on the back.
Ah, I love it.
I do too.
Hmm.
I try and make my photographs, I'm photographing my great grandkids. I'm photographing parties. Yeah, artsy, no. But that tree out there really looks nice. And it's backlit just perfectly. I mean, it's art. So, I like that a lot. This has nothing to do with anything other than I thought it was funny. How do you know when you're bagpipes? I use Nick Tools a lot. Nick Tools was developed, and it was like a $600 or $700 program, and Google bought it, and you could buy it from Google for $600 or $700.
Oh, is that all?
That's all. And then Google decided they didn't want to mess with it, so they offered it for free. So I've got free Nick Tools. They sold it to somebody else who now is developing it even better. I think Nick Tools is now $150. And if you can afford it, I highly recommend it. Let me show you some samples of what we've done with Nick Tools. The first image you're going to see is the before, and it's a pretty good image.
Nice.
Nova Scotia,
Love it. Oh, my.
same image with Nick Tools.
Wow.
This was taken by my daughter, and these are the two most important people in her life, her grandson and her husband. And I wanted to make a little piece of art to give to her for Christmas.
Oh, my.
It's just a little artsy thing. Somebody will look at it and say, ah. Holly will look at it and go, ah.
So did you print that on canvas?
No. Well, I actually haven't printed it yet. I will print it on watercolor paper, probably.
Okay.
I'm not a big proponent of canvas. I've done canvas portraits of people. I can print a watercolor paper at home. I have to pay to have somebody to print. This is in Alaska. This is
Last hurricane?
probably longer. Not a bad picture as is,
Yeah.
but I like a little more Anthony Adams, Clyde Butcher look. So something like that. Just a different look. This is somewhere around Branford. Who has a kitchen sink outside in the front porch?
And the refrigerators on the front.
Yeah. So,
Oh, yeah.
so on the last book trips to Skip, this was Santa Fe. Does the Santa Fe come in the
Santa Fe, it's just up river from Ellie Ray,
Okay.
between Sandy Point and,
Edwin knows this place.
yeah.
I thought it was beautiful. Now, this is the photograph I took, but what I saw when I made the exposure was this.
Wow.
Holy cow.
Yes?
Are these available for purchase?
No?
I mean, somebody's gotta ask it.
No.
No?
I've never done this.
No?
No.
Oh,
When
darn.
I die, whoever's got the archives can do that.
Oh, shoot.
But you flatter me.
No, I would love it.
Thank you. I forget, I think this was in Utah somewhere. Just clean it up a little bit. I call it self-portrait because if you look there,
Close to Moab.
I do too. My backyard and the neighbor's backyard, really. Just playing with it. I entered this one in lapse because it was high noon photography, something or other. Didn't do squat. I do print, there are 1,000 gazillion filters on the phone. I use Prisma.
Can I ask you before we move on from the previous one? I noticed that using the Nick tools that you did a lot of those images in black and white. Do you feel like that is a good tool to edit specifically when you want to create a black and white image?
Absolutely.
Or anything
It's
else?
what I use.
Is it better
It's
for
your
any
go-to-
other
It's
person?
your go-to for black and white?
It's my go-to for black and white. Sorry?
No other purpose than black and white is it best?
Well, Nick Tools has color. We'll maybe get into that, but it has a black and white section
Yeah?
and a color section and an HD section and then just a section for adjusting colors and exposures. So it's got things you can
And it's
choose.
free.
No,
Oh, my
it
bad.
used to be free. The one, it was free when I got it.
You
I'm
know,
not willing to pay $160 right now. And I should.
160.
I think, oh, but it's a hell of a program.
Is it Nick
Worth
Tools?
every penny, yeah. Prisma. A photograph that really tugged at the heartstrings of my daughter-in-law. She did this. She was out on a walk and loved this image. She made the image. I love it too, except critique-wise, the sailboat is sailing out of the picture. So I turned it Then, Prisma has, oh, I don't know, 20 or 30, has several hundred, but you gotta pay the $5 for whatever it is.
No?
Prisma, Prisma.
Yes, yes.
And if I've got an image on my camera that I want to do Prisma with, I gotta email it to me and then download it to my phone and then, you know, all of this. But I wanted to give her something that's artsy. It'll mean something to her, might not mean anything to anybody, but it'll be a pop of color.
What fun.
Like before.
Oh, yeah.
There's lots of options.
Now, do the tourist boards,
Huh?
do the tourism boards know about this device? I mean, what a delight.
Who knows? This is, may look familiar. Usually anytime I came up here to do a critique, why Ed would do something. It would be a hike along the river or a kayak trip down the river. We went down to Cedar Key one time and circumnavigated Oti. And on one of the trips, photographed Edwin. Well, it's just a photograph. Let's make art.
Sure is a handsome guy.
His next Christmas card.
Oh, that,
That's cool.
yes.
Now, if Milton hadn't been so much in the way, I'd have gone to the dollar store and bought a cheap frame.
Okay, thank you.
It's pretty.
Every now and again, my sons and I and my brother and friends would go down to Boca Grande, in Charlotte Harbor, kayak a mile out to this deserted island, spending 2 nights laughing and lying and telling jokes and making obscene noises and fish.
Yeah.
Just special family together time. And this is the fleet at sunset. This is what hangs in his home. And it's just a little 5x7. It's a little
It's like
piece
a
of
Walter
art
Anderson.
that looks like a piece of art to somebody, but to him it's a memory. Same trip. Those are my 2 boys. And I don't know whether to caption this one fist bump or here I brought you a beer.
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah, that should be-
Okay. Let me, here's a quote. "The camera is an instrument that teaches people how to see
Yes.
without a camera."
Oh, lovely.
Dorothea Lange.
Yes.
Went to this wedding in the Keys earlier this year. Niece got married. Sitting there, my wife convinced me not to take a camera.
Oh.
I felt naked. But I take a camera most everywhere else. A little shirt pocket Canon. It's a nice little snapshot camera. "I am the taker of the photos. I am the receiver of the groans, the eye rolls, And the hurry-ups, I'm the one who disrupts the moments to capture them. Sometimes it's hard to be that person, but I'm also the holder of the memories. I am the one who keeps the precious proof. I am the bearer of the stories, the maker of the photo books that bring tears, laughter, and love rushing into the room each time they are opened. The eye rolls will be replaced one day with absolute all-consuming gratitude for the image of a smiling face so missed and a memory returned home to stay. Keep disrupting life to capture it, my friends. When it's all that's left, someone somewhere will be so very glad you did. Yeah.
You.
All right.
What a gift.
One more thing.
Did you write that, Chuck?
No.
Very nice.
Oh.
Christmas, first grade.
Really? Truly?
Now, not my camera.
Oh.
A few years ago, my sister and I were chatting, and she said, "Do you remember your first camera?" I said, "Well, sure. All I can remember, though, is on the back of it was embossed Donald Duck and Huey, Dewey, and Louie.
No.
And, you know, and 2 weeks later, this showed up. She found it on eBay.
Wow.
It's a treasure.
Really?
Try not to drop it. It's a treasure.
Yes.
Donald Duck.
I know I've been doing artsy stuff because I came across my first artsy photograph, which is a couple of wagon wheels in a stream created in 1955. And I was going to try and find that, but Uncle Milton got in the way of time for that too. So it's been a process of learning and teaching from then on. And here we are. All right, it's done with this first section, the critique. We'll start after we talk about laps, and we're going to do laps around the pool. We have lots and lots of entries, and so Starbucks is coming by later with. What I want to do is I'm going to go through number one choice of everybody first. Then there are a couple I know that I want to go back through.
Good.
I want to apologize if I've heard anybody say, or if I heard anybody say.
I can't say. Great.
And we'll see where that takes us.
Oh, what do you say?
Well, I'm a little disappointed in some of you. I know some of you got together.
Oh, you took a picture.
And,
Now you got two of them, Rob.
Anybody need any more? What am I doing?
I think it's one of the critiques.
Oh, okay.
I think critiques the image.
I know some of you got together and said, we're going to put our very best stuff in and see.
Don't worry, I didn't do that.
I can see your junk.
These are the lights.
We need them, I wonder.
Let me see if I can
You didn't have anything.
turn that one out.
Lights are out, Jeff.
If I turn that one out, I can't see.
There it is, right there.
All right.
Cheat sheet.
Thanks,
Before you, you see the Dirty Dozen. When we're judging a professional competition, this is what we're looking for. So this is what I'm looking for as we go through these. We want the photograph to have impact while we live. Look at it and say, wow. And technical excellence. Thing in focus. Okay. Creativity. Is the maker done some work here? You know, just seeing it and photographing it may involve creativity because this is perfect.
This is what?
Style.
Perfect.
Composition is important. We'll talk about the rule of thirds. Presentation we won't talk about tonight because I doubt if anybody has matted and framed and stuff. Color balance, there's one particular image I want to talk about. Center of interest, is there one? There should be. We want to talk about lighting, subject matter, technique, it's pretty much point and shoot type thing now. Ouija, famous news photographer, they asked him what his success was, how come he was so successful. He said F8 and be there. And storytelling. And these are in no particular order. So let's look at this image.
You want the light out?
Not about me either way.
Everybody want the lights out, or?
Yes.
Well, there it goes. That's it.
In this,
Why don't you turn back the front one?
we're on Fastone Image Editor here. If I go to the left, I get all sorts of things. Let's just adjust levels. Which one are those? So here's a histogram. I could bring this in.
But you can't video.
Right about there is white.
That's
Too much,
okay.
isn't it?
What's going on? You having trouble
Just-
videoing, or?
No, it's okay. Just let it go.
Okay, this is, I brought that end in, white with no detail. I'll bring in black with no detail. Not a whole lot of difference, but you can see some. That's what it was. A little more intense now. And we can play with the middle tones. We can take them down,
Oh.
or we can take them up. I generally don't like to get higher than 130 or so. You know, that's too much. So I'm not gonna mess with the middle tones on this one. Composition. The eye generally enters a portrait lower left and works towards the upper right. So you've got a natural line here. But you've also got a green line that takes you out. So I would consider maybe darkening this area, vignetting. In this particular image, if I was gonna do it, and I'm not the maker, but I would take this into Photoshop, make a duplicate, put the top layer black and white, and erase out everything that was dragonfly.
Oh, interesting.
So the dragonfly is in color and everything else is in shades of gray. I've got a light area right here that kind of pulls my eye that I want to pull out, darken. It's a nice image. Dragonflies are hard to photograph. Any questions? So let's move on to the next one. Seventh inning stretch.
Oh, nice.
That's not the name, but it should be. Lower left, upper right. Progression, your eye comes in, goes right to there. Unfortunately, this, you've got a black beak, points you down the black wing, brings you right back into here. So there we go. Now, does this meet any of the criteria? It's got some impact, and you see it right away. Technically excellent. Oh yeah, not a feather out of focus. Creativity, absolutely being there and knowing. Style, yeah. Composition is excellent. Presentation, we're not talking about. Color balance is good. Light blue background against the pink is wonderful. You know, got a center of interest, absolutely. Lighting is good. Subject matter is outstanding. Technique and storytelling is good. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
Who would put this in? This is what the camera saw. So let's play with this one. Okay, so I'm going to go over here, and we're in Fastone Image Editing. I'm going to go to Levels, and I'm going to bring my black in. Okay, right to there, that's black with no detail. That's what I want. White is okay, but I can bring in some a little bit. Now let's play with the middle tones. That's what we started with. That's what we've got now. Like that better?
Yeah.
I do too. Okay.
Hey Chuck, could you do it in black and white? I'm curious, after you've got this one, but could you add black and white
So
too?
we want to do black and white. So in the middle of the picture, we right click, edit with an external program. Let's do Nick Silver Effects Pro 2.
Oh my gosh. It's exotic.
Okay. So that's what we started with. There's an option. Okay. Now it won't show much here, but over here, this was a colored image. We wanted to use a red filter. That's what a red filter would look like. You young people learn about filters in black and white, just so you know. There's an orange filter, a yellow filter, doesn't do much. When we get into something with sky, we'll know. And there's a blue filter. So we're working with, you can see some fog and open skies, so we got blue, a lot of blue. But we'll do no filter for now. And let's do before and after. So down on the left are some options that we can do. So far, none of them look good. So we get to, this one's called Full Dynamic Harsh.
Wow.
And let's try another one. Looking at the windows on the left, there's not much that looks good. Let's try full contrast and structure. Again, starting, ending. This is Nick Tools, black and white.
Thank you, Chuck.
Hmm?
I said, thank you. I like black and white too.
This is French, this is film noir.
Mm-hmm.
So those are options. Now, one of my favorite, as it turns out, I don't know why, I don't know if I'll be able to find it. It's called Wet Rocks, and it's not a good one here. Now, over on this side, you can change contrast and structure, brightness. So now, once you've got something over on the left, you can start to change it. So we can save that. There it is. Go to our crop board. We don't need all of that. Rule of thirds. So that's right on the third. Horizontal and vertical. Got some negative space. Crop it. That's final image from a piece of junk.
Oh, what? I've seen that.
Okay.
Yeah, yours.
We'll start at the bottom of your card. What does it say?
Whoa.
Does this tell a story?
No, yes.
Absolutely it does. Now, would it be better without the jerk in
Yeah.
the background?
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe, maybe not. It's storytelling. Again, lower left to upper right. Eye comes in here because it's brighter, comes up. Got the contrast between light and dark. Everything's in the picture. Lighting's pretty good on her face. That's a successful photo. Don't have any problems with that at all.
The title tells the story. Photobomb.
Photo bomb.
That's
Is he bombing her or is he being bombed?
Yeah, I don't know if that's gorgeous.
Yeah, that's nice.
Happy.
Yeah. And if you really want to get into some deeper things here, it's a thing about freedom because her shoulder straps are not perfect.
Huh? And the necklace is skewed.
And exactly, she's spinning.
Joy.
Moving on. Okay. Who wants to comment on this one?
I think I would cut the garage out on the right. I would crop it.
I agree.
Because if you had the whole garage in, it would have been
Right.
fine, but
This pulls you out, it's a big black space and it pulls you out there.
Right.
So, let's go,
But I do like the fence a little bit more. Oh.
like that, you think?
One more. Outside.
Out?
Yeah. There. Maybe less.
Okay, now
There, just a
to
little.
me,
You got a little bit of the roof.
to me, if I crop this far, it becomes too centered.
Right.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah,
if I
yeah,
come into here, I've got a real nice progression of lower left, upper right.
And it takes almost all the green out too that you have from the bushes and the tree.
Let's play with this. Let's look at levels. Okay. Now, the white without details can be in the sky, so I don't care much because the sky is white. So look how much it opens up the midtones here. And let's see what happens if we do this. And I think I like those neutral. That's what we have. This is the old homestead.
Is that the title of it?
No, I don't know that it's titled.
Oh, you're right, it wasn't.
No, it's just one JPEG. The interesting thing here is, given the proper equipment, you've got lots of subjects. The front porch is a subject. The windmill is a subject. So you could spend, just the contrast and the colors in the rust and the non-rust is worth looking at.
Quite.
So lots of options here. This is a good start. I like that.
Chuck, does Fastone allow you to adjust the horizon level?
Yes.
If you, maybe 1 or 2 degrees,
Uh-huh.
no, the other way.
But you notice the guidelines.
Don't drink and drive.
Hey, stay within the dishes.
See the guidelines there?
Yeah.
So they can give you
That's better.
a good vertical reference. And then again, might want to darken the front lawn just a little bit. This is pretty. Golden hour. Great use of light to me here.
Oh,
I don't need the bird fully lit. I just want the head fully lit. The darker colors recede. And I'm not sure if this area here pulls me out or brings me back in. Let's play with cropping. Nah, it's too centered for me.
Will that still be together?
I think I'd leave it just like that. Good range of tones here from the blue down to here. I like that one a lot. Nice photograph.
What does it look like if you reverse it, you flip it? Chuck?
He's reversing it somewhere else.
Now, that's an idea. Lower left, upper right, keeps you right in there. This kind of pushes you in. Good idea. Something to consider.
I know you said most people's eyes go from right to left. The drawing.
No, lower left to right.
Sorry, I meant left to right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's what I was,
Good idea.
I like the other way too, but.
You like that? Okay.
No, I was just thinking, if you added like, you could add ripples or something below it, it would look like it was in the water. I mean, I was having to look at it closely from out there.
Yeah. Nice image.
Really nice.
Ooh.
Oh,
Ooh.
very.
Okay. I'm hearing, oh, what does that mean it's got? Impact. Okay.
Did you know that, man?
I was shot with a GoPro.
Shot with a
Really?
GoPro.
Yeah.
Oh.
Instantaneous.
Okay. Technically excellent.
That was also the first place winner in the Women's Club Art Show too.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
What town?
Live oak.
A live oak?
Yeah, the Live Oak
You
Art
guys,
Festival.
you guys entered the good stuff. Okay, so it's got impact, technical excellence, for what it is, absolutely. Creativity, indeed, style, yeah. Composition, lower left, upper right follows the gunnel of the boat to this dark area here. Actually, the rod takes you out, brings you back in. You didn't even know you did that, did you?
Rob,
Just
what
plain
was the
100%
title?
luck. We were fishing, I just brought the camera with me, and everything hit, and I just took one picture, and I don't know.
It were-
I love
Rob,
it.
what was the title that you used for it at the art show?
Pardon?
What was the title you used at the art show? You
Morning,
remember? I had to ask you, didn't
I forgot the
I?
name.
Morning Fisherman or something?
Like a morning commune with nature, something like that.
Woods, Morning Woods.
That was
Yeah, I like it.
Very nice.
Color balance is okay. It's a warm image, it's early morning. Center of interest is obvious. Lighting is, I mean, it's not a portrait, so we don't need portrait lighting. But we do have a good silhouette, we know what the guy's doing. The subject matter, same thing. And it tells a story. So it's all there. Nicely done. Horizon is not level, but if we were to level the horizon, we would lose stuff. Let me just play with that.
Didn't matter, that's good.
If we
Oh, that will look like that, I lost my fish ripples a little bit.
Fish ripples. Well, I don't know.
That's not terrible. But we
That works too.
We lose some over here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
And he loses sun too, he loses part of the sun.
Yep.
see, we lose the whole head.
That is what it is.
Yeah, oh,
No
yeah.
control.
It doesn't seem, it doesn't have.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Now. I love,
Sure.
it's centered, and that's okay on this one. Actually, most portraits will be centered, but I love the vitality on this one.
Oh,
I like the two different wall textures on this one. I like the attitude on this one. Exposure's good, impact is good. It's just an outstanding image. This is almost, you know, could be an award-winning image.
It actually
it
is.
is.
Perfect,
Second place with it.
Yeah, I think about this one, and the life in this one, the vitality. And Charlie's got another image, same way. Learn all you can, Charlie, about photography, about the technical stuff, just learn it so you know it, and never have to use it. Seriously, you have it.
Read it and then forget it, it'll come instinct.
I'll just ask him, he knows all the detailed stuff about like all that kind of stuff. I'm like, I'm just gonna take a pretty picture and it'll be fine. And he tells me, you know, what the buttons are called afterward.
I understand, and that is be fine, because you have the eye.
Yes.
Now, once you have the eye and the knowledge of the machine, you can go anywhere. So maybe you're just lucky so far. But you do have a good eye. And you know which one. David wanted a picture of his truck, so. There it is. All you need to do is crop and get the picture. I don't know that I would do anything to this. The truck does bother me. I would like the image, same image without the truck. You've got a nice leading line here. This bothers me, the sticky up thing.
What is it?
Post,
Oh,
that's my weather vane.
It's your what, David?
My weather vane.
You got a chainsaw?
oh
Another
my.
Photoshop, you got to remove objects.
Or Photoshop airbrush, yeah.
Yeah.
I like the clouds, I like the whole thing, it's just a.
Trees, the fog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love it.
Early morning pasture or something like
If
that,
it had color, it'd be like a highwayman.
just for the heck of it.
Mm.
That's not terrible like that.
Yeah.
And you might have some fun with Nick tools on this and filters. Want to do that?
Sure.
Let's leave it like it is, go over here. And see what happens if we use a red filter. Really emphasizes the sky. Orange filter
See the truck.
Yeah,
my goodness.
lightens up the interior just a skosh. Yellow filter, nothing. Green filter, not much. Blue filter really lightens up the sky. So you need to know what your filters do.
No, not much more.
So that's
Can I
what
ask
the
a
red.
question?
Hmm?
Just out of curiosity, well, have you ever, or did you know much about, used to be people did, hand coloring,
Yep,
hand painting.
and some still do.
Okay. Whatever happened to that? I mean, I just found a whole bunch of my family thing, getting rid of a whole bunch of stuff. I mean, I've recently given them away, but they were all hand colored.
Hectacolor.
And I thought it was hand painted. I mean, they were like, way early 1900s.
Yeah, some of that is still being done.
What do you, how neat though. What did that take?
You have to be an artist,
Oh,
Yeah.
not me.
and,
Okay.
yeah.
I mean, it just looked terrific.
Mhm. It's a nice look.
Oh,
It's a nice look.
with the blue? Oh my.
Interesting here. Interesting. I'm gonna try levels on this first. Oh, it won't be much, just a little bit in the sky. Let's try the midtones. Just bring them up a little. Let's bring our dark tones a little. This is a good eye exercise image, because we're talking about the eye enters the photograph lower left, comes up. Look right away, it takes you out over here, but then you've got this up here. So it keeps you busy, it's a nice tone. I wonder what this would be at a long narrow.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, very nice. That's working.
Emphasizes.
The best of
I used to work with a guy when I was doing, entering competitions, the fellow Bruce Evanson in St. Pete, who was the most awarded photographer in Florida. He was a friend.
Yeah.
And so I would drive up there with a stack of images. And I was so close to my images that I didn't know which ones were actually award winners. And so Bruce would go through them, and we'd have a stack of possibilities, and then he'd get out some scissors,
Wow.
cut out anything that's not award winning.
Oh, wow.
And
Wow.
I owe a lot of my print merits to Bruce for helping me make that selection by doing that, getting rid of, we got rid of a lot of sky here. So,
And ego?
and it wasn't helpful.
Gosh. That is pretty nice itself, really.
So much
Uh-huh.
reflection on it.
Oh. Huh? Mhm.
Impact. I mean, it's there and it draws your eye right away, makes you wonder what's what.
Who's who?
And then it's obvious a puck down. If you look closely, it's got a stew pot or something on the end. Oh, that's somebody's helmet, right? Okay.
It's an army helmet.
Cross, yeah.
I took a little
World War
liberty.
I, maybe.
I did the Coca-Cola sayings, and this was supposed to be thirst knows no season. Well, I
Oh.
did thirst knows no year, because this is a reenactment that they do up at Conneaut, Ohio.
Oh,
And they've been doing it for several years, and it's just a piece of history they do of the D-Day, the landing at D-Day.
Wow.
So that's why I took a little liberty with the last part of that saying.
Color's good, tells a story. I think I'd like it looser. I'd
So
like to see
whiter?
see the whole tent.
Okay.
Background's out of focus, so you've controlled that nicely. Lower left, upper right. Helmet being dark kind of keeps you in the image. Did you use Nick tools on this?
Who?
Did you use Nick tools on this?
No,
That's really nice.
What
Nice-
did,
Nicely done. Nicely done.
Really?
That's, yeah.
What did you use to make it black and white?
Hmm?
What did you use to make it black and
I
white?
just converted it. It was like
Oh, my.
later with some of the filters.
That in Florida?
Yeah. It's in,
Yeah.
well, it's there, but it's not there anymore.
Down, yeah,
Yeah, I tell you, it took care of it.
yeah.
I have an after shot of the same area.
That's terrific.
It really is.
Wow.
I initially thought, the sky's too light, but then I noticed the road is light, so the whole thing frames the mansion here. And nicely done, nicely done.
Yeah, I love it.
Good range of tones. Got some decent whites, some decent darks, grays in the middle. All there. Composition is good.
Gary, was this one that you were able to print off and and give to the family?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that was this.
Yeah, that's in this region?
Yes, it's in this area too.
Yeah.
Good, good.
Yep, very nice, very nice.
He asked permission before.
Can I just say one thing? I mean, I know I'm a stranger in these parts, but there is a woman who has a blog in the southeast, and she covers the, I think she covers 7 states in the southeast. And her whole gig is to take pictures of homesteads that are withering and gathering are lost. The last one that she did was one in Wellborn. Wellborn. And it was on her website, and that's what brought me to her. And it's got the, it's on, but the railroad tracks are somewhat in front, but there is a cobblestone in front. But it's a 1, maybe 2, 3 potentially story being restored. And she has followed up and done the history of it. But she's taken the photographs, the entire history, the photographic history of it, as well as her photographs.
That's terrific.
And she's doing that all around in the 7 states in the southeast. So if anybody here, especially this kind of place, there's another place on
Great picture.
South 47 that she has now taken an interest in, post Fort White farmhouse. That if you guys have any idea of any of these kinds of places, she would love to cover them. And she pays for covering them. Sorry, FYI.
Invited here.
Interesting.
Well, I just called her up because the Wellborn. Yeah. It was intriguing. because the
Isn't he
girlfriend
precious?
He is, you are.
And then 2 weeks later, I saw this, no coincidence.
Good portrait here.
Yeah.
When you do anything, I would remind people that when you're doing a portrait of somebody with their face on their hands,
Oh.
just barely touch. Don't cause any pressure, because you'll distort the face some. So just barely touch your face to your hands. And I like the idea, just barely. Don't know what the, don't know what the light source was, but there's a bunch of them. You can see by the catch lights. So if you got Photoshop, you can go in and get rid of all the catch lights but one. You always want one. And it's always on the side where the most light is. Good lighting here, good lighting ratio, dark to light. On my screen, this is a little blue. So there's some open sky maybe. So I would go in and do a little color adjustment here. And I would take out, not that much, Chuck. Start out with about taking out 15 points of blue and adding 15 points of red. That's what I had. Now I've got a little warmer. Decent skin tones.
Oh, very good.
I'm gonna tell everybody that's mine.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
I am not a portrait photographer, and I put this in because I know Chuck is. And I took this of my grandson this summer, and I had to laugh because I kept telling him to put his hand gently, but he just. He's 7 and he's just really busy.
Have you worked on kids? Another thing,
But he just.
another little thing is that right hand that's leaning on the, those rocks or whatever, curl the fingers. Just a little thing, just curl the, not a big tight fist, just curl the fingers.
Relaxed.
And they won't pull you down. That's a gorgeous image.
Well, he was posing himself, that's the thing, he's doing all these, I mean, he's good at saying, you know, like, you want me to do this? You want me to-"
I got a 7-year-old great granddaughter who's,
They're good at that age.
Yes. Yep, yep.
nice image.
That's
Well done.
stunning, I love it.
Oh, yeah.
You hardly ever see pelicans flying in formation like this.
Blue angels.
This is magic because there is no horizon, and yet you know it's got to be a reflection. Either that or AI, and you know it's not AI. Just a nice image. Again, we have room for the bird to fly into. If this was centered or, you know, the birds were over this side, you've got to have room for them to move into, even though it's a still image. Impact is there, of course. Quality, every feather's in place. Now, these are stuffed animals, and the artist has nailed them to a wall.
Hey, Chuck, could you zoom in on the beat? I'll figure out.
Oh,
This did they have a hook beat?
Do
Okay,
they?
okay.
Oh, yeah, it's like a big tooth.
Do they really?
This one's
Oh,
got a
how
hook too.
interesting.
Yeah.
Is that a water reflection?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, thank you.
How lovely.
Appreciate
Well done.
It's for sale. Just a nice image. Not much you can say about it. It meets all the criteria that, you know, it's an award winner.
Audubon.
Exposure's good, impact, the whole thing. Storytelling, it's all there. Okay.
Real, real.
Real good.
Uh-oh.
Story of my life. Now, you know where I can see this?
Oh.
I can see this on the cover
Mm.
of the county fair directory.
No.
Yeah. You know, so-and-so, whatever, Swanee County Fair.
Mm.
And then down here is some information about times and all of that. But this is a family
Mm.
having fun, and you can do it in black and white. And it tells a story. You know, it's a little busy, but that's what, you know, that's what you would want in a photograph that's advertising the county fair.
The setting is
It's, got some impact. Technically, it's excellent. Style, composition, lower left, upper right, it's all here.
Damn. Sorry.
Color balance is good, although I would see this more in black and white. You know, it's a success. Now, you're gonna enter it in competition, hang it on the wall? I don't think so.
Mm.
But it's very reportage, if you will, very journalistic image. With two, you get egg roll.
With what?
Egg roll. Now, it's an oriental garden somewhere.
Cedar Lakes.
Looks like, you know.
It is, really? Gainesville?
Richmond.
Richmond?
Williston? Is that where it is? Williston? Where is it?
Richmond?
Williston, maybe.
No?
I've never been
Your eye comes in lower left, works up this way. I'm pulled out by this.
Where?
This water down here, so that could be eliminated.
Yeah.
Got two subjects kind of on thirds, so that works out. Doesn't tell me much of the story, I'm sorry. color's good. To me, that's a photograph right there.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Better.
Hey Chuck,
There's 4 or 5 photographs in here.
Uh-huh.
Yes,
could you crop it from the right up to the
The
red
tree.
tree? Maybe
okay.
just
Where do you want me to start?
start
On
on
the
the
right?
right side,
On the right side?
yes,
Mhm.
and move into the left.
Too far.
No.
I'm talking about crop out the right side, keep the left, the far left there, and bring the crop from the right side closer to the tree.
Up high. There. Oh, nice.
Can you go down a
Sarah.
little bit on the bottom?
Kind of like that?
Uh, Maybe just a little bit more, you see those rocks in the bottom left corner, just a little lower, not much. There, yeah.
It's like 6 different pictures.
A lot of pictures.
Yeah.
Yes. Busy.
It's pretty.
Yeah. Oh, but that's lovely. Can you bring the top down? Never mind, I'm sorry.
I don't think so.
That's right.
Thank you, Chuck. Take it in a little bit.
So, you know, there's a lot of places you go, but like that kind of farmhouse, whatever it was in the first one, like the front porch, or just the growies and the pipes there, or just the windmill. Lots of pictures, I'm sorry, images. Any impact here?
Yes.
Some phosphorus.
You got technical excellence? I'd say so. Horizon straight, yeah. Color balance, warm is good. Got some cool tones to match, that's good. Subject matter, I like it. I think I might crop it a bit differently, but not much. Tells a story. Let me play with cropping.
Oops.
I kinda like that.
Yes. Yes.
Lots of options.
Okay.
Yeah.
Lots you can do with that one. And it's lovely as it is. All right, we're gonna break for lunch now.
Looks more like a snack.
Where's the light coming from?
Down.
Hard to say. If we look at reflections here, it's almost coming from the front. And it's a little too hot, a little too bright. I don't know if we can change that or not.
Use the grapes.
let's look at it compositionally. Lower left, upper right, got that. Got the dark over here, so your eye follows that out and then comes back to here. So compositionally, it's fine. I'm not sure what that is. And I would get rid of these little catch lights down here too. But it's a nice still life. You know, and you could do this in a 5x7, hang in somebody's kitchen, and they would love it. It's a nice image. I would fix that, like snip it with scissors so that it's just flat rather than torn. You've got some other little issues. I mean, food photography, they would have probably 20 pounds of grapes to start with and find the best 15. Somebody would wipe them down. Somebody would check for pairs, would fix the stems, and they would spend an hour and a half and bunches of lights to come up with a food photograph. So it's a challenge, and it's fun to do. And I recommend that everybody now and again do something like this. Oops. I'm a little weird, you may have noticed. I looked at this image, and a caption came to mind. And I see a little cloud coming out of her mouth that says, "How do I get my sunglasses?"
I didn't even notice that.
I think you're bored.
She's looking right at you, too, look at her.
So next time, Charlie, maybe take out the glasses.
I like them.
It's a
I
great
think it
photograph.
works.
It's
Thank
a
you.
wonderful photograph. It could be just the contralto getting ready to sing with the pianist. I don't know. But it's nicely done. It's well presented in black and white. Your blacks and whites are fine. How did you do that?
I just picked a filter that I liked on Lightroom. I'm not good with editing my own black and white, so I usually just use preset.
Okay?
Whatever word presets.
Is it
And there was that white wall, almost the entire wall was like this big, really ugly framed thing hanging on the wall, and I removed that. It worked like 25 minutes.
Good for you.
A huge reflector over top of the
Yeah,
top of that.
there was like
Nicely done.
an extra door on the wall in front of the piano, just things that I messed with a bit.
You did well.
And this, Charlie, gave me a film noir feeling.
Exactly.
But, and so I didn't notice the sunglasses at first, but if you're really wanting, so check point those out, if you're really wanting to carry that through, I would remove those sunglasses, because it's not quite the same year. But that is beautiful.
Yeah.
I wish you'd won first place with this one.
That's what I loved the other one as well, but I thought this one was really striking.
Yeah.
I think what's really interesting is that I know the story behind it, and I know what it is that you are doing that day. And I think if everybody knew that, they would know just how wonderful this photo is.
I have a portrait. It's a very large family, mother and father, their adult children, their adult children's spouses, and their adult children, their grandchildren. Large family, on the beach. Took first place in portrait of the family. Only time I ever did that. If the judges had known I did it at sunrise on a 40-degree morning, they'd have given me best of show. Nice image, very nice. My initial thought on this one is this limb pulling me out.
Yep.
would be easy enough in Photoshop to clone that out. So you've got just all of that right here. Let me see something.
Mind if I ask what version of Photoshop this is?
Say again?
What version of Photoshop is this?
It's like,
Is this like, I think I read, is it Elements?
It's Elements.
It's not the full version?
no,
Gotcha.
no. I don't wanna pay the monthly fees, I don't do it for a living anymore. This has more than met our needs.
I know Photoshop is just expensive. I pay for the whole package though, so I get all, because I do a lot of video editing as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool.
Like the impact of
I don't know if I can do this. Do quick and dirty here. This one. Question? Did you have a question over there?
Oh, no, sir.
Okay. Okay, there it is. There is one way. That's a different way. All of these are things you can use and select from. It's not bad, full dynamic. Full dynamic smooth. Full spectrum. This is called fine art process. Now let's play with filters. Okay, there's a red filter. So, just makes the sky a little more dynamic. There's an orange filter, not much change. Yellow filter, not much change. Blue filter. Green filter. There's a blue filter. So you pick the sky you want, but I like the red. So there's an option right there.
I think we
Did
just,
you make this friends?
Oh, yeah.
I made the frames, yeah. My grandson was playing football, so that was priority.
Okay, as soon as he sees the
Impact.
picture, I'll get it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Actual physical impact.
Yes.
Sorry.
I'm not sure here, if I wouldn't crop this. There. Or maybe. There. This one's got a good range of tones. Got some decent blacks and decent whites. And rising straight. Tells a story of the waves on whatever, a pier of some kind. So it's kind of a success. Probably a little too much foreground. But it's an interesting image.
I've actually got a question for that last photo.
Okay.
You said it was too much foreground. How would you compensate for that? Just shift the focus or put some things in the foreground? Like what would have you done to?
I'd get a pair of scissors.
That's what
Bear in mind that because the camera sees 3:4 ratio, you're not locked into 3:4 ratio. So the cypress photographs I showed earlier on the river, it was, because that's what the camera took, but I only showed you this much, a long narrow. As a matter of fact, right after we get that, I sent you a birthday card, and it was a long narrow fit in a number 1000. That's a long narrow. So you're not locked into cropping to a 3:4. When we did things, competition for the state, we were doing prints. We're locked into a 16:20 print, 16:20 board size, but your print could be any size. It could be smaller, a lot smaller, and there was a minimum, I'm sure, because the judges had to be this far away. But you didn't have to enter a 16:20 print. You could enter an 8:18. So when you're creating your images and looking through the viewfinder, you don't have to think it's this image. You have to think it's this part of the image. That's all. And that's what I would do. I would crop out the bottom. Day We Became One is the title of this, and unfortunately, we've lost the side of the bride.
And you've got that sunspot above her head too. I turned it into black and white, which I prefer the black and white, but I wasn't the main photographer, so it was kind of a, I like that.
Let's do this with that. Let's go extremes.
Oh.
Okay.
That's good too.
Now that, cropping off her head isn't as bad.
Do you think it looks better in black and white, Chuck?
I like it black and white, yeah. And there's a couple of photographs of Serene on her shoulder right there. That's a photograph.
I was kind of thinking of that earlier, but I really wanted your opinion on black and white and what to do with that sunspot.
You could use the light here because we got some backlighting and room lighting that separates them, and that's nice, separates them from the background. Striking image, lower left, upper right, keep on going. So let's try this. No, I don't want that one either. Sorry. Let me play. Still a striking image.
Yeah.
Lower left, upper right. Takes you in, keeps you in. You got the darkness here again, it keeps you in the image. And like that. Tells a story, it's sunset out west.
Full colors and details on the sky.
Nice image.
Can you elaborate on why that is?
Rules of competition, composition. These are just sticks.
Gotcha, so they're throwing off the image,
Yeah.
composition-wise,
Yeah.
gotcha.
This to me is center of attention.
Yeah,
To me, this is the subject. Now, let's do this. Got board. That ain't bad. Lower left, upper right, you got rule of thirds, it's all working. But in the grand scheme of things, this is my subject.
yeah.
Alright. I know Branford Camera Club is notorious for its burgers. So,
Go back in and sit in.
impact. Obviously vertebrae, you can see those talons, they're sharp. Background out of focus and does not compete. Just a nice image of somebody's parakeet. Escaped from the cage. And plenty of room to move into. And this bird looks like it's getting ready to move, so there's plenty of room over here. We talked in the last night about negative space. Here's some negative space to move into. Now this one could be a long narrow.
Yes, absolutely.
Just as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
All brown.
Okay.
They really look like they're posing.
I know, they're so sweet.
They're so cute. I mean, it's
Kind of
of
like their own, huh?
I wouldn't know who the owner is.
Willie does have that gray around muzzles.
If you were gonna do this for real, John, I would maybe change angles so I don't have the wall in the background.
Yes.
Um,
I also don't like that lower right corner with the toy takes my eye out.
Exactly, distracts me.
That's so precious.
But
It
yeah,
is.
That
It
is
tells us,
just-
it tells a story for sure.
yeah, it does. And in Photoshop, I would do a bigger catch light. It's easy to do with a soft
Yeah, I thought
brush
about that,
and a lighter gray. Don't want to use a white. But again, it's in focus. It's a great expression on both of them. And it does show you the truth in how pets have the tendency to look like their owner. Speaking of pets looking like their owner, this is one I took.
I love that one.
That's not
That's
true.
really
Spread.
This is just marvelous. Good exposure, good subject matter, good impact. I think, is it true that hippopotami make a growling sound that makes the water dance up like that? And that's look like this one is doing. If I was gonna do anything to this, I would darken this area here because it tends to pull my eye out. And maybe I can crop it out. Let's look and see. Do you all see how important the cropping tool is? Yeah, that helps.
Now, would you keep the leaf in still?
The leaf doesn't bother, this bothers me, but there's not a whole lot you can do about stuff like that. Pardon me, Ms. Hippo, I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna move this leaf on the branch.
Yeah, I didn't mind the leaf.
One of the things, we talk about, we talk about the hawk having room to move into. There's no room for this animal to move into. But I'm feeling that the animal doesn't need that room because the eye is right on me.
Yes.
Yeah.
There is no intent to move that way. Like that.
It's a nice picture. Details on it.
Photograph of a flower, and it's easy to wave these things off because it's, a snapshot of a flower. But you need to be able to look in, and that may be the photograph right there. Just looking a little more closely instead of just the blossom. Now, if you got Photoshop, you put a bee in there. I think Pink, which is the title of this one. It's probably another award winner because the title is Think Pink. It makes you, oh yeah, of course. Everything else is brown. We talked about the dragonfly with the green and making that go shades of gray. This is already dark behind, so it really makes the image jump out. So you've got lots of impact here. You've got composition is not as dead center, but it's almost a circle. Color balance is good, center of interest is obvious, lighting is fine. Style and creativity, recognizing the image. Yeah. Hello, I mean, that could be an image too. Nicely done. This is a good image of a still life. Somebody is thinking about light and relationships and all, and I don't know what it's photographed on.
Black plexiglass.
Black plexiglass. A voice. But that would be the perfect thing to put under a shell because you don't want a mirror image. But look at the reflection here, and the title is Reflection. So we've got lots of definition. It's a hard subject because you've got the lightness of the shell, you don't want to overexpose it, but you certainly don't want the reflection to be underexposed. And it's just nicely rim lighted, and we've got some detail. I don't know if you can see it on the screen.
It's really good.
Yeah. Actually, your screen looks better than mine. I'd turn around, but then I'd be talking to the wall. You all would leave, and then I'd be hitchhiking. Nice image, good portrait study, good study, photographic study. Good thing to play with, just to see what's what. Do the same thing again and put the light somewhere else to see what you get. Do an extreme on the light and see what you get. Talk to Charlie about this one. I really don't like the hand in front of the face because the face is so great.
Me neither, but
Yeah.
that's the picture I got
I know,
when she moved, so.
And when we're dealing in critique and we're dealing in competition, we have to think perfect opportunity to do everything to make the image better.
Yeah.
All this stuff, I would like to see more out of focus, or black, or dark, or something. I mean, the image is the wheel and the happy face. And freckles.
She actually had like a really, really bad sunburn that day, so, and her mom brought her in like the dress that showed her sunburned shoulders super bad. The whole photo shoot, I just had to do what I could, like put her hair in front of her shoulders and everything, because it was like so bad.
Yeah.
Edit everything, like tone the reds way down, but not make her cheeks look flush, like it was a whole thing.
Then you mask
That's-
everything.
and, you know,
I did.
I look at all your images that you sent. Charlie sent me 5 images like most of you did. And the word that came to mind on her images is vitality. It says that
Yeah.
they are vital. There's life in them. Sort of like my great-granddaughter going, but, so, keep it up. Okay. Typical tourist image. This one, I think, again, would benefit from being a long narrow. It might benefit from being a black and white. Let's crop this one. And we have to go to the flag. And you can go as far out as you want. Just be a little warm.
I don't think I like that shade of black and white for that picture.
Okay. So we'll adjust levels. You want it lighter or darker?
A little darker.
Okay. Here's, notice the White House, the lighthouse here. Okay, that's white with no detail. So that's why we take that. We bring the blacks in, that's black with no detail. Now we take the middle tones down forever and ever,
Yeah, let's not do that too dark.
but take them down to like 77. That's what we started with, that's what we've got now. Now let's take the middle tones up. So that works for me better. But I have changed the levels, I brought the whites in. And this is one where you would almost, if you've got no sky to speak of, you could almost, in Photoshop, drop this out and put sky in. That's a nice image. Shows the coast, shows the lighthouse, keeper's place. Now, the idea here, to me, is excellent. The church in the fog, I love that. I don't like the truck. I don't like the building here, I don't know what you can do about it.
Clone it out. Clone it out. Bring the sky in.
Now we go up here to clone and heal. And this is all done in Fastone image editing. So we've got the house behind, you're gonna have a hard time cloning out the truck.
Yep.
Oh, I was gonna clone out the house, bring the sky
Well, you-
completely down.
Okay, let's clone, make one.
So I have a question.
Go ahead.
So you're using the clone tool, right? Is that by preference to not use AI to do something like that?
You're way ahead of me, kid. Now, there are things you could do, which aren't AI. In Photoshop, you can do a select, and it will select everything of a certain tone.
Yeah.
Then you erase that. And then you find everything that's left, and do a selection of that, and erase what's left. And keep doing that until you have nothing left, and you have to be careful where you're going.
Okay. And so, yeah, so I guess my question then would be, is it because you don't want to use AI? Like, let's just say, so actually in Photoshop, I would do the same thing, but then I would just type into the Photoshop AI feature, delete house, and then it would just delete the house. So is it, if you have access to that tool, is it a preference of saying, I don't want to allow AI to affect this image, and you want to do it yourself? Or is it just from the fact that you don't have access to that?
If I had AI and knew AI and was trying to get rid of the house, That sounds like it's a lot easier and quicker to me.
Yes.
Gotcha, so it's not
Absolutely.
preference, it's more of what tools you have access to at this time with this program.
How old are you?
15.
I'm
He talks
83.
like that all the time.
I don't know.
What did I say? Like 2% in my brain, the rest of it right over my head.
Yeah, well,
I would do exactly what you were saying, Sebastian. I would
Right.
just, absolutely.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I was just trying to, like, cause like, with some of my work, I don't like the idea of AI doing anything to it, so like morally, like, was it, like, the choice of doing, like, using the clone tool and doing it the old fashioned way for the fact of, like, knowing you did it yourself, or like, being okay with AI, you know, tampering with the images, cause like with video, I don't let it do a lot of stuff regarding video.
Exactly.
With photos, since I'm not, I'll say not really as attached to photos, cause it's not really my primary thing, I'm okay to let AI and enhance those, so yeah, I was just curious.
The rule of thumb that I'm using on this, and I don't have your skill level with
Yeah.
it, but for using those AI empowered tools in Photoshop, and Lightroom even has some of it now,
Yeah.
is if it's something I could do manually using layers and selections and cloning, but it would take me 99 years,
Yeah,
and I can do it quicker and easier, so I'm not generating something that is unreal.
yeah,
I'm doing something that I could have done in the darkroom back in the day, that I could certainly do more manually.
yeah,
Why go through all that if the tool will do it more quickly?
love that, yeah, that's kinda how I think
But
about it.
then it's not creating something unreal.
Yeah, absolutely, gotcha,
That's just for me.
Yeah, I
that's
love
the
that.
test.
yeah.
Sorry about that.
get rid of the house and the truck
Better.
in a hurry.
Yeah.
Now, I would take another 20 minutes. I would clean up along the edge of the church, and I would probably use a healing brush
Yeah,
where I have cloned, and then crop
that
it.
looks nice. That looks nice.
It looks
Yeah.
better, so.
Would you crop it any differently now that that house is gone?
Oh, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. And I might do this, might go to colors, might increase saturation. That's what it was, and let's just increase saturation a little bit. I did not do levels, so let's make that sky lighter. Bring in the darks. And take that down to about 81.
Almost feels like it's, the fog's going away.
Yeah, which I don't mind on this one. So, that's what we had, and that's what we got now.
Chuck,
Mhm.
I'm gonna have to, it's 9:15.
9:15, time to wrap.
Well, just move it along a little bit faster. We don't really wanna leave, but
Okay, all right.
don't have to wrap it
Let me see if there's any in here.
Way past my bedtime.
And you're driving, right? All right, I see. Okay. Charlie was still here. The only thing I would do in this image with Charlie is make it a long arrow.
Yeah.
I don't want to see the reflection because it's only a partial reflection. The image is right here. And again, what is that word I used for Charlie's image?
Vitality.
Vitality. Look at that.
Yep,
That's my
Yeah.
sister.
It's just there.
that's your sister?
Mm-hmm.
What's her name?
Lucy.
Lucy. I should have known.
And my brother's name is Linus. I'm not lying, I promise.
And your dad's name is Chuck?
Right.
Yeah, Charlie.
Here's another Middleton image, again, macro, sharp focus, lower left to upper right, good composition. This right up here, whatever it is, a bud from the plant is in there, doesn't need to be, but it's helpful. Everything works together here.
Ooh.
Ooh. Yeah. Is this a multiple exposure?
Yeah.
Who did this?
Yes.
Okay, multiple
Yeah.
exposure,
Yeah,
nicely done.
yeah, that's.
The same sky, or did you put the sky in later, or what?
Put sky in later, it's a overlay.
Composite?
Yeah,
Nicely, nicely done. This is how I feel.
It's one of my relatives. It's one of my relatives.
Spike.
Yeah, his name's Spike.
This is another one of those, got good image, tells a story, if you know birds, it's mating plumage, I believe. It's got a center of interest, it meets most of the criteria on the card.
It's also a bad hair day.
Huh?
It's also a real bad hair day.
Yeah.
No. Who took this photo?
Yeah.
Does anybody know who took this
Rob
photo?
Wolf.
Rob.
Rob Wolf.
That is one of my best friends.
We have an art group in Live Oak, Monday and Wednesday nights, and she decided to pose for us, and she put the flowers in her hair, and I posed her, and they were drawing her, and I was taking pictures, and I said 1920s. And I entered it in a contest, but I love it. I think it's a great shot of her. Very striking, very classic look, and anyway, nice girl.
And she's, yeah, she's an incredible human being in person. She's awesome.
Speaking as a portrait photographer, this is excellent. First of all, lower left to upper right, you've drawn in by her arm, right to her face. The lighting is what we call split lighting.
Had one light, softbox.
Perfect.
I know, it worked out.
We're always looking for, with split lighting, a lot of light over here, a little triangle of light under here. There it is. We never want the eye to split the side of the face. If she had turned her face left a quarter of an inch, we'd have lost it. Because we can still see your skin over there. Background goes away because it's not important, it's out of focus. Just a dynamite image. Because it's super good image.
Yes.
Challenge, okay. Nice range of tones here, foreground and background. Let me see what we got here. Okay. There's your subject right there. And again, room to move into, center of interest, impact, color balance, color harmony, the whole thing.
Tells the story.
I don't know, I'm just sitting around waiting for this thing to be over. That's cute. That's just a cute image, nicely done. Looking in here, which keeps you in the image. Did we miss, wait a minute, let me, there's one I really. There it is. Christmas card.
Yeah.
Christmas card.
Christmas card.
Yep.
Rule of thirds works, you know, there's room over here, negative space, if you will, a little bit.
Oh.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Go
Again, impact, color, the whole thing. Do that. Okay, long, narrow. Or short, just showing the ducks, that was long, narrow. Nice thing, rule of thirds, again, would be a long, narrow there, would be good. A good study of the plan.
Interesting plan.
This is very Ansel Adams-ish,
Yeah.
very Clyde Butcher-ish.
Yep.
Seeing light through your crystal ball. I like this. It's a good idea here. I think that's a mirror, am I right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you're working into a mirror. Showing two people framed, and it looks like it's a framed portrait.
That was fun. I was a photographer for my first wedding last weekend, so I haven't finished them yet, but that was one of the ones that I liked from her getting ready.
Good.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
Who did this one? This one was
Nice.
on the website. Anybody here? It wasn't submitted, but I thought all it needs is
Yes.
a little cropping. So instead of dead center, it's rule of thirds. travel photo. Flowers. But if you're gonna do the flowers, do the flowers. Lighthouse, again, I would crop this just. So you got the rugged coast and you've got the lighthouse and all of that. I consider doing it black and white. Bless you.
Thank you.
What can I say? Picture of a snake.
Yeah.
Technically speaking, again, lower left, upper right, puts you right into the snake and keeps you right there.
I like the only color is in the eye.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yep. That's nice. Nice framing using the foliage and the line over here. Dot keeps you in.
What millimeter was that? Focal length?
One nice thing about Fast Down, we've got all the tools over here. We've got all the stuff, different stuff we can do here. We can copy this, we can move, we can email, we can print it, we can go to external programs, da-da-da-da. And then if you want to know information, the metadata, you move your mouse all the way to the right. This is done with a Canon EOS RS. It was done on September the 9th at 8:25, almost 8:26 in the morning, at 160th and 2nd at f11 with an ISO of 320. The maker was using aperture priority and the metering mode was multi-segment. No flash was used. Focal length 11 millimeters.
Wow.
I hope you enjoyed the presentation. To learn more about the Branford Camera Club, please come to one of our meetings.